Lester, firstly I'd like to wish you and I all the best for the future. After all, it is the future that is yet to be determined, while the past is history. I'd like to thank you for the past and the contribution you have made to what is over the last 33 years. You can be proud of the way you have led your team, the results you have delivered to the company, and the way you have carried yourself.
Lester, the great socialiser and the great host, and what a legend he is. He taught us all how to socialise.
Lester Palliser, the Wellington area manager. How you doing, Stretch? Good to see you. Hey, man. Yes, that's great. Give her a kiss, come on! Don't kiss me. I got it right.
Lester, what a legend. Over 30 years and you knocked off 8 sales managers. Well done, mate. The legend, Peter Kale. The great Nigel Comer. The infamous Brett Whittle. The famous Sean Delaney, and of course the great man himself, Macca, Dave McAteer.
Lester, LP, Stretch, it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to send you a little message on such a special occasion. I don't know whether you remember these wee birds. It was a conference called The Power of One, and these are the toucan birds, but we nicknamed them the One Can. And when I think of your legacy to the Watties Company and the wider grocery industry, I think of you really delivering on what one person can actually achieve.
Mike Pretty.
He is always led from the front. He is always focused his attentions on ensuring that he's surrounded by the best people and that those people are always equipped to perform to their utmost. And critically, Lester has always had that Edmund Hillary desire to get to the top, to get to the summit, and to let nothing defeat him. And I think that is the legacy that Lester leaves.
Roy Miller, the Sugar Man. And now the Shane Webby.
Earliest memories of Lester, well, I remember the Jade Stadium rugby ground, of course. Lester was always a fine man to get make sure we had the box. He's a one-eyed Canterbury supporter. I have lots of good memories of the Chiefs beating Canterbury down there in Christchurch.
Proud Crusader supporter.
But I was always impressed with Lester's ability to handle a beer. He's a big man, obviously, and has huge capacity to knock back the beers. And I remember at the end of the night when I'd be feeling a little bit under the weather, but Lester would be standing there, no problem, still taking care of people, making sure they're having a good time, and certainly not under the weather at all. And he could go for hours on end when everyone else was failing around him. So Lester, I know you could handle a beer and you like a beer, you like your Crusaders, and they're now the second best team in New Zealand behind the Chiefs.
Has a go, he's over for the try! Well, he had Nepo Laulala riding shotgun, heaving him over the whitewash, and the Crusaders have their first.
Foodstuffs were always pretty tough bargainers. They're a tough account to deal with. Lester would always keep reminding me. He said it was important to make sure we shared a drink with them, take them to the rugby. But they're always very tough, very challenging.
Lester's always struck me as a gentle giant. Over the whole time I've worked with him, I've never seen him offend anybody or get offside with anybody, but he's always been able to get his point across.
He gets things done and doesn't muck around. He is second to none with the customers, and he forms really great teams as well in all the areas and places he's worked at to really get the job done.
Lester was also a great leader for a great team. They were very, very tight-knit and parochial, but a very, very high-performing team.
And of course, behind every successful man stands a very surprised woman, and that would be Di.
While the textbooks were talking about customer intimacy, you were out there doing it and actually redefining it. You were such an advocate for the customer, and I've had the privilege of seeing it that on both sides of the desk, at Watties and then now during my time at Foodstuffs.